What is up, and welcome to WitchSlapped, the PopWire AfterShow for SYFY's revival. I'm Christina.
And I'm Dani.
We'd like to first start by thanking the show's co-creator and co-showrunner, Luke Boyce, for joining us last episode. He was really awesome to speak with, and we hopefully can do it again.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. This week, we're here to talk about episode 4, which just aired. So episode 4 is titled Run Along Little Lamb and is described as a new mandate targets survivors as M's memories spark a violent reckoning with brutal costs. The show is written by Ashley Park and directed by Amanda Rowe. All right. Dani, you ready to talk about the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. You want to start us off with who said it?
Yeah, sure. So my quote today is, I feel like there's something missing in me.
I feel like there's something missing in me. Okay. I feel like that could be one of two people.
Right, who's
Was
your
it
guess?
okay? M?
No,
Al?
no.
Jordan?
Yeah, it was Jordan. First off, this is one of my favorite moments in the episode is when we have Jordan, she's staying the night with her friend Cooper, which is Dana's son, and they're getting ready to go to sleep. And she tells Dana that she doesn't actually sleep at night. She hasn't been sleeping since revival day. And at home, she has to basically pretend that she's sleeping just to make her parents feel comfortable. I really loved the way that Dana handled that situation. She's been very welcoming and understanding of Jordan and her situation. We saw her a couple episodes back where she had that conversation with Jordan's parents, right? When they were saying that, oh, that's not our daughter. And they're basically just sort of disowning her. And Dana has been feeling compelled to sort of step in as I think that probably comes from her maternal side. I like that it brings sort of a softness to Dana's character. I mean, she obviously really loves her son, and she's seeing this little girl going through something that is unprecedented and something that no one really understands. And that must be so frightening for a child, and especially to not have a home where she can feel safe. So now she has that space with Dana and Cooper at their home. So I just thought that was a really beautiful moment.
I agree. That whole scene was wonderful. Melanie Scrofano did great in it. I forget the child who plays Jordan, the actor, but she's fantastic at
Mhm.
portraying all the emotions as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's just a great scene all around.
Yeah. Um, and just going back to the quote, that particular quote is something that i- it calls into question what has actually happened to these people that are revivers, right? I don't think she's the first character that has described this feeling of something being different or missing from them. And um, these people have certainly changed, and we don't know to what extent that means. We know that in emotional circumstances, these people can have sort of like a superpower strength. We certainly saw that with Arlene in the first couple of episodes. But at the same time, it's like, yes, well, these people are now different. It doesn't mean that they should be second-class citizens and treated like a threat. They are not criminals. There's been one person that has, sort of gone off the deep end, but her situation was a lot different, right? She was being poisoned with mercury, so she was, like, in a state of psychosis. Very different. And, it just kind of goes into, like, the deeper thread of this series so far, which is that sort of social aspect of uh, people being put in a box and being
Mm.
feared because they're not understood. And yeah, sorry, I kind of
Or
went
you're
on a
good.
tangent, but yeah, I think it's just such an important theme of this show. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's move on to some of our favorite moments of the episode. I'm gonna say my favorite moment was probably
oh
hair.
yes, yes,
I feel like that whole scene and the haircut kind of signifies a real change in her moving forward. I feel like now she's gonna really pursue figuring out what happened to her.
hmm absolutely, yeah.
What about you?
Uh, I will have to second that. That was my other favorite part of this episode. the shaving of the head is so symbolic of what she's doing, as you said. Like, she is sort of shedding all of the fear that she's had her entire life. She's shedding this sort of like the perceived weakness that people have of her. She's not like this delicate doll that she's been treated as for her entire life. Like, she is a strong woman, and she has no books left to give, and she's ready to embrace this, like, journey ahead of her and figure out what actually happened to her and gain that power back that was essentially taken from her when someone took her life. It's a super powerful moment for this character, and I think, over the last 3, 4 episodes, we have been waiting for something like this to happen for her. So it's really neat to finally see that part of her story come to a head.
Absolutely. So let's move on to maybe some big moments from the episode or maybe any theories you might have.
Mm.
What do you got?
There's a few different things that I thought were interesting in this episode. This guy who he's kind of been, I guess, lurking in the shadows. We don't see him very often, and actually, I kind of forgot about this character. I'm thinking that he is that same person that was revived while in the incinerator.
That's my guess as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he has an important part of the story. I mean, in that scene where we see him is right after someone had gone into Aaron Weimer's house and stole that flash drive. So in his house, the guy who has the burns, he has like a clip of out of a newspaper that says something about a woman named Rosa Blackdeer, I think was her name, or Rosie Blackdeer. She had tragically passed. So I think that's going to come into play. But then they also sort of span to, or they go to like the left or right, I don't know. But they show a prescription bottle, an old prescription bottle of oxycodone, and it is ends. So what is going on here? Like, what is his part of the story? And what is on that flash drive? Like, there's just so many things about that entire like few minutes of scenes that is, I think is gonna come into play later on. So I'm really interested, to figure out what's going on with that.
Absolutely. It's layer upon layer upon layer of like mystery and story. And I'm so excited to see how it all unravels.
Yeah, definitely.
So going on to what my theories might be. First I want to say I just think the biggest moment would probably be at the very end of the episode when Dana got like that's gonna be a real turning point for both Dana and Em and their relationship moving forward because Dana's always been the one taking care of her little sister and now she's well, we don't know what she is. We don't know if she's gonna be hurt. We don't know if she's dead. We don't know what's going on. So whatever move like happens moving forward, I feel like it's gonna be a big turning point no matter what. But then I also wanna talk about what the hell was in the woods, in the forest, that scene
Oh,
with the
oh my
because
god.
radio gets out, we hear the sounds, and then something just scratches the tent. Either some sort of alien thing or something with this revival, either I don't know if it caused it or there's something, like, that was deep in the earth, like some old mythical creature or something
Ooh.
that, like, came back to life with the revival.
Mhm.
I don't know. Uh,
Oh,
it
that's really interesting.
Yeah, but could either caused it or it just got brought back with it, like, who
Mhm.
knows? Mercury was the right, bacteria, everything, and just there's so
Yeah.
many angles they could go with it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I hadn't even considered, like, the ancient creature
Mhm.
situation, but I definitely thought maybe alien. It was fascinating that Jordan was sort of drawn to it, right, as it brushed up against the tent, and I don't know if that was just out of, like, curiosity or if there's something more to that.
Like, it might be a reviver thing, like, maybe there's some sort of connection either because they're both revived or that's some sort of leader thing and it's, like, calling to them.
Yeah. I don't know, like, if I was one of those kids, I would have ran
Oh,
immediately home. That was so frightening.
I as soon as the radio cut out, I would've been out of there. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have for anything. I would have been like, "Nope."
Mhm. Yeah, and just one more, sort of, like, puzzle piece to add to that, when Dana, Rhodey, and M visited Blaine, he
Mm.
mentioned something about an explosion in the woods with a big bright light that lit up the sky, he said. Does that have anything to do with it too? Like, yeah. I don't
aliens
know.
landing or whatever creature it is coming back to life, or but then with the sound in the woods too, there was that bright light with it
Mhm.
before what?
Yep, yep. I cannot predict anything in this show,
Mhm.
and I love it so much. Usually, I'm able to, like, put pieces together, and I'm like, "Oh, I know exactly where this is going," you know? But no, with this show, it's just like, I don't know, the writers have done such a great job to make it mysterious, and yeah, it's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, the whole team has done a fantastic job, and I think that's
Mhm.
rewarded in the ratings and the viewers and everything. So, congrats to all of them again. All right, let's move on to our caption this submission and see what we got this week. So that was our caption this submissions. Be sure to follow at PopWireNet on all social platforms and keep an eye out for posts where we ask you to caption this. All you have to do is reply to that post with your caption, and we will include it in next week's Witch Slap. All right. So moving on to my Who Said It. See if you can figure this one out. I'm sorry if anyone made you feel like you can't be yourself.
Mm. I'll give the people watching a couple seconds, but I think I got this one. Okay, I'm gonna make my guess. It was Dana speaking to Jordan.
Yep, you are
Mhm.
correct. Once again, I, as a queer person, interpreted it a little bit differently and more as like, I'm sorry, like your parents kind of made you feel like you can't be who you are. I mean, that's what it is. But as a queer person, it's like sometimes we don't feel safe to express who we are. And so that really resonated with me.
Mm.
But, I love that scene for all the same reasons that you said earlier. It was just a fantastic scene.
Yeah, there's all sorts of, like, symbolism in what they said and just the interactions between them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to move on to our performer of the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Who is your performer of the episode, Dani?
I don't think this is gonna surprise anyone, but it's Romy Weltman, who plays M. Uh, Once again, this episode, she's been able to act with a full range of emotions, um, going from having, like, a sweet, tender moment with Rhodey to this, like, fearful realization of who had taken her that night when that memory was triggered. The transformation she took on screen as M when she was shaving the head and then headed to the forest that night. So yeah, I think Remy's just a rock star, and I'm really enjoying watching her on screen, and I think M is very much becoming my favorite character for the show.
I'm going to second all of what you said. Romy is also my performer of the episode. I think from especially the shaving her head scene on throughout the episode. And yeah, I think she is becoming my favorite, and I love watching her and Rhodey together.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Hey everyone, this is Roel from PopWire. I just wanted to join Dani and Christina for this outro because of something that we're about to do, which you all know from the episode. But before we do that, I just want to mention that my SDCC Comic Con prediction post, which is purely speculation, is on popwire.net. So I don't know if you've already checked that out. If not, we'll put a link in the description below to check that out. And then next week, be sure to check out for our interview with Stephen Ogg, who plays Blaine Abel, and he has a big episode coming next week. So check out for our interview with him for that. And Christina's recap of episode 4 will be on popwire.net. Be sure to check the link in the description below to check out Christina's recap. Revival airs Thursdays at 10/9 Central on SYFY, and episodes are available to stream on Peacock the week after they air on SYFY. Don't forget to follow all of our socials, which is PopWireNet on all social platforms. And thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you next week.